We continue in this holy season of Easter. And yet this year, for obvious reasons, this joyful holy season is so very different. At a time when all of us would like nothing more than to be gathered together and united around the altar, we must come to you through the helpful assistance of technology. Please remember this: although we must be apart for reasons of health and safety, we are united, always, anytime we are at God's altar. Heaven and all of earth unite in our prayers and praises to God. Our second reading assures it is through Jesus that you who are believers in God, the God who raised him from the dead and gave him glory. The reading concludes, your faith and hope, then, are centered in God. Spiritually, we are together, and never is that more evident than when Mass is celebrated, be it near or far. I join with Bishop Rosansky and all who ensure the continuing broadcast of the Chalice of Salvation in offering you the promise of our prayers for you and all you love, even as we continue to pray for all affected by the pandemic. For this third Sunday of Easter, our gospel relates the story of two disciples on the road to a town, Emmaus. It's a familiar story, and like the figure of St. Thomas, often called Doubting Thomas from the gospel just last week, the disciples on the road to Emmaus begin in confusion and disbelief, only to find great belief and trust in the risen Lord. Many years ago, the late Bishop Leo O'Neill wrote a reflection on today's gospel, the road to Emmaus, and here's what he said in part. There comes a point in the scriptures when memory becomes reality. The remembered becomes so vivid it lives. Jesus, as he walked with the two disciples on the road to Emmaus, recalled the scriptures so vividly that those who accompanied him later said, "Were not our hearts burning within us?" The bishop continued, "It is interesting to note that one of the two disciples on the road to Emmaus was probably a woman. One disciple is Cleopas. In St. John's account of the Passion, a woman named Mary, the wife of Cleopas, is standing beneath the cross with Mary, the mother of Jesus, and Mary Magdalene. That adds a powerful insight into the Emmaus story, a married couple on a journey, trying to comfort and console one another, bewildered and crushed because things did not turn out the way they thought they would or should. Bishop O'Neill concluded, sometimes the only way to tell a story is to listen, to walk the journey with the confused and downcast, and allow their words to surface and reveal the hidden mysteries of their lives. Perhaps in our own days, when all seems broken, hurting, and uncertain, we can rely on the power and presence of the risen Lord, who has promised to be with us in every circumstance of life. When all else seems uncertain and bewildering, the fidelity of Jesus never wavers. Christ's mission to heal, to love, and to serve is extended in the lives of all who believe in him. We trust that as the risen Lord was with the two disciples, walking that road and offering companionship, he joins us together. The disciples recognized Jesus most perfectly in the breaking of the bread, the Eucharist. Today, at this altar, whether near or far from one another, let our request of the Lord echo that of the disciples on the road. Stay with us.